I'm running Manjaro KDE Plasma from my bootable USB stick prior to installing it, and as you can see, we have no network connection. The software details are as you should be able to see those okay. Now, I don't find that unusual. Normally during the install procedure or later when you're doing your first update, all the necessary drivers are downloaded and normal service will be resumed. But it does mean you have to connect to the internet via a wired connection. Now, why do I find it strange? I'm going to swap over the USB, my bootable USB, for another version of KDE Plasma, an earlier one, and show you the difference. I'm running an earlier version of KDE Plasma. It's the linux61.1.4-230222-linux61.iso, and it predates the latest version by about 6 months. We have Wi-Fi working straight out of the box, although I've not actually connected to any of the networks there. This is just a demonstration of what's going on. We'll have there's the information for those of you who need to see it. As you can see, we have the kernel version 5.15.57-2, and KDE, it's KDE Plasma version 5.24.6. Now, we'll minimise that, come over to the installer. We're welcome to Manjaro Linux61.3.6 installer, and everything works absolutely fine, no problems. Installs lovely. When I say installs lovely, I should say that I'm using the Dell Inspiron 1525, and which is pretty ancient. And to make it even more ridiculous, I've got a more ancient one, which is the Dell 1501, and installed on there. I didn't really expect it to do that, but it did, and what's more, it worked. But it really is a little bit ridiculous thinking you can get anything useful out of that. So guys, what's my beef? It's, well, we're going to go back and have a look at linux61.iso of KDE. I've booted up the Linux61 ISO, and we still have no networks. I'm having trouble with this Sikaris installer. It keeps on hanging at a very crucial point, and we'll now show you that crucial point. We've gone through all the points necessary to get to the point we're now at, where we've got a summary, and then we click on install, and hey presto, it just hangs. Now, that is bad news. Bad news for me, because it means to say that I can't install this version of Manjaro on the computer. So what we're going to do, and I've got a workaround for it, which gives me my Wi-Fi connections and the latest edition of Manjaro at this instant in time. For me, this should be fail-safe. It worked on the Dell 1525 and the 1501 in the previous edition, and doesn't work in this one. So I'm having trouble. I expect others are. Now my workaround goes like this. Let me shut this down. Right, this is now installed and running on the Dell 1525. And as you can see, I'm connected to the internet, and we'll bring up the info panel, and you will see that I'm running kernel version 6.1.12, which I believe is the latest version of this particular distribution. This is the edition that came out in 2302.22. So I had to get over my problems. I got around the problems by installing the earlier version first, which was from about 6 months ago. I installed it online via a wired connection. I hadn't any need to do that. I could have installed it over the Wi-Fi because that was running with the earlier version. And the installer worked perfectly, no problems at all. I updated everything online, and then it informed me that I needed to update my kernel, and we updated the kernel simply by moving one of these to one of the highest recommended one, which was this one here. I did that, and everything is running really well. I find it sad that the installer sort of just hung there without any error message or reason to. I'm trying to find operating systems for people who have a limited experience and encourage them to have a go at installing their own operating system and learning a little bit more about computing. It works so well in the earlier version. What a pity. Having said that, I know that the Manjaro team will get together and sort out the bugs as they get reported, and etc, etc. And it may take a couple of more months before this becomes, for my purpose, usable. But it is sad that these things occur from time to time, and especially when they put in so much effort into developing what is basically a very good operating system. I'm moaning about this, but anybody with a computer this old should really expect some form of trouble. Modern operating systems are designed for modern computers, and they do an excellent job of designing a modern operating system, and one that works extremely well, normally. But that's life.